are in desperate need of support right now. And playing political games at this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Madam Vice President, Milton's arrival, what does it mean for resources?
What's your response?
Well, I think she should look in the mirror. We've been on an emergency footing for 2 weeks straight, round the clock, 24/7. We've been working, my office, our Division of Emergency Management, helping people prepare for Hurricane Helene, helping effectuate rescues of people after Hurricane Helene, helping people pick up the pieces of their lives after Helene, and then have to also turn around and prepare for major impacts and maybe even more impacts from Hurricane Milton, be able to have rescue personnel ready to help people, and then, of course, help with the power restoration, all these things to do. So that's been...
So, as I was saying, to coin a phrase from somebody else we know, I am in the midst of dealing with hurricane stuff. It's far, far, far away, but we're getting feeder bands that come through. So I think what I have to do, because I'm looking at like some of the data here that goes through. I don't know. I'm going through one basically transponder to push stuff up, but I'm going directly through YouTube right now, and it seems to be a better stream. So I'm going to try and finish this, and then I'm going to try and finish tonight. And then I think what you're going to see probably tomorrow, because Trump's got no events, is I'll do a pre-recorded video. So you guys will get that. All right. So I lost a bunch of people. We were into it. We were going. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. Okay, that's Barry Back to the Future now. All right. So anyway, what I was saying when I got cut off, I don't remember if you understood or if you heard me what I was saying, is as I started digging into this stuff about Kamala Harris, one of the things that really popped out at me and became quite apparent as I began looking at this stuff was she set up by Dementia Joe? And what I mean by that is, we all know, and I hope you know now after seeing some of this stuff with Ron DeSantis, that the vice president has no authority. She can't sign anything. I hope if you heard it, I'm going to say it again right now. There's not a single, not one, anywhere. There are no executive orders signed by the vice president. Every single executive order is signed by the president. Whether we like it or not, how Dementia Joe got into office doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is, he's the one with the authority. Just like Donald Trump had said, I got a phone and I got a pen. Well, Kamala, you got a phone, but you don't have the magic pen. There's nothing you can do about it. So my thesis, not being conspiratorial, my thesis is somebody set her up. And what I mean by that? As Ron DeSantis was saying, she's never called before, which I don't find odd. I find that to be what she's supposed to do. She's not supposed to be involved in this. And Ron DeSantis is very clear about, what she's done and what she hasn't done.
My sole focus, my focus has not been on dealing with Kamala Harris. I saw the news report. I didn't know she tried to contact me. But I'd also say it's not about you, Kamala. Right. It's about the people of Florida. My focus is exactly where it should be. And I can tell you this, I've worked on these hurricanes under both President Trump and President Biden. Neither of them ever tried to politicize it. She has never called on any of the storms we've had since she's been vice president.
All right, so what he just said there, she has never called on any of the storms when we've had, as she was vice president down here in Florida. When you take a step back and realize and think about it as a clear thinking adult, and like, well, why would she? Other than to give her condolences or, hey, hope everything's going to be fine. There's really nothing for her to call about. There's nothing she can do. There is literally nothing that she can do other than give Joe a message. She can leave him a sticky note. Hey, Ron called, he'd like to talk to you. But there's nothing else she can do. So when you take a step back and listen to what Ron's saying, he's not lying, and I don't think it's really meant to degrade Kamala Harris, it's to really make a point, and that she's the one who's trying to politicize this.
So apparently now, why all of a sudden is she trying to parachute in and inject herself when she's never shown any interest in the past? We know it's because of politics. We know it's because of her campaign. I have zero time to entertain these political games.
If you ever worked in a large corporation, and you know who the CEO is of the company. Well, the governor is the CEO of the state. And the CEO of the state doesn't make phone calls to, like a manager at another company. It just doesn't happen. Hey, Jim, over at XYZ company, yeah, can I talk to your manager? Well, you're talking to me. I know, but I'd rather be talking to your manager. That phone call never happens. Never, ever, ever happens. A CEO is talking to another CEO. I doubt many CEOs talk to other people in the C-suite. They're not really talking to the other company's, chief marketing officer or chief X officer, whatever. You're talking at this level, and you're only talking to the people at this level, and you expect that other CEO to disseminate information to his team. So there wouldn't be any way that Kamala Harris would have been interjected into any of the other relief efforts on past storms. So if anyone's politicizing it, he's saying, he won't call me back. Well, why the hell would I? You can't offer me anything. You are making it happen this way solely because of your political aspirations.
To continue to do what we need to do to prepare and respond to what may be one of the most damaging storms in the history of the United States. So she says focusing on protecting your people is selfish. I think she ought to look in the mirror. It's interesting. Harris is not even in the chain of command.
Yeah, what is she even doing?
She has no role in this. I mean, the idea that I should be worrying about her when I'm focused on the task at hand is just, quite frankly, absurd. For Kamala Harris,
you see, a lot of people heard that, and they, obviously he was taking her, bending her over and spanking her, which she probably liked, given her history. But in any event, are you guys going to try and turn me off for that? Okay. In any event, what he just said is absolutely true. I don't waste my time. You're not even in that flow chart of information. I'll wait till Joe tells me, hey, and Joe said that at that press conference this morning. I've been in contact with Ron, blah, 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 blah. And I've also told him to contact or have XYZ person contact him as well. Notice during that conversation, Biden never said, I've contacted Ron, he and I have spoken, we're working everything out, and I've told him Kamala's going to act as my go-between. In fact, Joe Biden said specifically the other, completely obliterated Kamala Harris. You have to understand what he said. I've talked to him. We are working on things. I gave him my direct number, and I told him to contact me directly. The President of the United States, however he's a president, the President of the United States told the governor of the state of Florida, you talk to me. What's she talking about politics? The president is the person I'm talking to. If there's anyone interjecting themselves into this, it's her. And our crappy ass media doesn't pick up on things. Our media doesn't understand that she is the problem. That she specifically is the one who's trying to make herself look better when nobody gives a crap what she has to say. And nobody has given a crap what you've had to say for 3.5, nearly 4 years. So now all of a sudden you're trying to make yourself look so much better. I'm Kamala Harris, the vice president. So you're meaningless. You're absolutely meaningless.
To try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. And so what I think is selfish is her trying to blunder into this. No, and here's
Has
the
she ever
thing.
called before?
She has no role. No, she has no role in this process. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. She's trying to get some type of an edge. She knows she's doing poorly, and so she's playing these political games. I don't have time for political games. I've got people whose lives are on the line. I've got people whose homes and their possessions are on the line, and we are focused 100% on that mission. I'm not worried about playing her political games. And so she is being selfish by trying to blunder into this when we're working just fine.
Couldn't have said it any better. He punctuated and said, my focus is on making sure that the people of the state of Florida and the people of North Carolina, because he's been helping out with North Carolina very well. Very well. He's been doing a ton of work, sent the National Guard up there, doing all kinds of things that governors do. Unfortunately, what's beginning to happen is Kamala Harris is realizing nobody cares what she has to say. And the more she's trying to force her way into situations, the worse it is. Like I said earlier, I don't know if you guys heard it, but I said, I almost feel like she's being set up. Somebody told her. Somebody basically gave a note and said, go talk about this $750. She didn't authorize it. That had to have come from Dementia Joe. She was just the one who went out there and decided she was going to blurt it out for the media. Somebody said, hey, Kamala, go up there and tell these people they can get $750. And she went, okay, that sounds like a really good idea. And then she walks out there and makes this grandiose statement, everybody's going to get $750, and she gets laughed at. Absolutely laughed at in the media. Nobody cares, Kamala. Take your $750 and stick it where the sun don't shine. You're talking to North Carolinians, men and women who understand living independently, and you think $750 is going to help them? Nah, you lost the state of North Carolina. You're losing everything. Tonight, God willing, I have power and everything. 7 o'clock tonight, I'm going to go over how her campaign has effectively ended. The 60 Minutes interview ended that campaign. It's over. I had someone in my chat earlier, not chat, my post. Barry, stop telling people that it's over because then they won't vote and then she could win. Clap, 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 clap. That's me knocking on heads right now. If you believe that me saying it's over is going to preclude people from voting, you might be in Kamala's territory. I don't mean to insult anybody, but people are going to crawl through mud, over glass, over mountains, anything they need to do to make sure that this Democrat Party is obliterated. There ain't nobody sitting home going, yeah, I think we got it. There's not after what we saw in 2020. There is nobody going to sit home because of something Barry says or some other YouTuber says and says, hey, it looks like her campaign has ended. Wake up. Don't even think for an instant of not voting. In fact, vote even more. Get more people out to vote because this woman is evil. I mean, she's crazy evil in what she does. And I can't even, for the life of me, think why people would think that they don't need to go out and vote. So, as I mentioned earlier, before I got booted off, she decided she's going to go on The View today. But going on The View, she did something that is, I'll show it again tonight, but she has added flame or fuel to the fire that her campaign is toast. Absolutely toast. She went on The View, which, by the way, Dementia Joe usurped and decided he was going to go do a press conference while she was on The View, meaning nobody saw this stuff. So I'm going to show it to you. Just in, Kamala Harris appears to admit she has never called Ron DeSantis regarding hurricane assistance until the most recent hurricane. The comment comes after DeSantis ripped Kamala for doing nothing over the past 4 years. She has no role in this, which you just saw. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She's never contributed anything to any of those efforts. You just heard that. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. So she goes on The View 24 hours later to basically, make herself look good or whatever, and to talk about some of the things she has said in the last day or so that she probably can't remember. And listen to what she says here, and pay attention. Pay attention to the question. Because when she talks, if you don't remember the question, you're screwed, because she's not going to give an answer. All right, so let's let her talk here and listen to the question. All right, you ready? Listen. Okay, play.
He said this morning, you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has had since you've been vice president until apparently now, and called it political. What's your response
Look at her face. Pain.
to that?
Well, first of all, I have called.
All right, so she set it up just as Ron DeSantis said. I know I'm off screen. I just want you to remember this. He said you never called. What do you got to say to it? Okay, listen to her answer.
And talked with, in the course of this crisis, this most recent crisis, Democrat and Republican governors. Called, taken the call, answered the call, had a conversation. So, obviously, this is not an issue that is about partisanship or politics for certain leaders, but maybe is for others.
Mm-hmm. Now, he said...
The question was, have you spoken to Ron DeSantis? That was the question. Ron says you've never talked to him. Have you talked to him? Your floor, Madam Vice President. What was her answer? Well, I've talked to some governors, and I've talked to, other ones who want to talk to me about talking about hurricane talk. I asked you, did you talk to Ron DeSantis? I want to know, she basically just said, no, I've never talked to him. It's 17 seconds long. Remember, I'm going to play it again so you guys can actually hear what she has to say.
Now, he said this morning, you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has had since you've been vice president until apparently now, and called it political. What's your response to that?
Well, first of all, I have called and talked with, in the course of this crisis, this most recent crisis, Democrat and Republican governors. Called, taken the call, answered the call, had a conversation. So, obviously, this is not an issue that is about partisanship or politics for certain leaders, but maybe is for others.
Mm-hmm. Now,
she needs shows like The View because she is hoping, and she was correct, that they will never push back on her. They will never say to her, hey, you didn't answer my question. I asked you, did you talk to Ron DeSantis? And their audience must be made up of just complete zombies. It's an audience full of orcs. None of them have any clue what the hell they're watching. They're watching a woman lie to them. And they're watching these hosts do backflips and mental gymnastics to make sure they don't embarrass her. You now know she's an embarrassment. You are asked a very definitive question. Did you speak to Ron DeSantis? And her answer was, I speak to, Democrat governors and Republican governors, and, we don't want to politicize it. Every time I see an interview with this woman, all she wants to do is backstroke and avoid questions. She can't answer anything because she seemingly can't remember the lie she told 24 hours ago, even though the woman reminded her. The woman said, Ron said this. Okay, is that true? Okay, what do you have to say about it? Oh, I'm caught. I'm stuck. What do? I do what I do best. Let me lie. Let me lie on this show. I'm in a comfortable place. This audience won't call me out on it. And because I'm here, nobody's going to know the difference. You now know the difference. I am pointing it out to you so you understand what exactly is going on with this woman where she can't tell the truth about anything. And then we get this one. Kamala yesterday accused Governor DeSantis of playing political games with the incoming hurricane in Florida. This is from the Trump War Room. Today, Biden said that DeSantis has been cooperative and is doing a great job. The West Wing appears to be on two completely different wavelengths. At this point, you have to begin believing, or at least suspecting, that these camps are at war. The Kamala camp and the Biden camp don't like each other, and he's throwing her under the bus any chance he can do it. And it's becoming obvious to people who actually want to look. I mean, if you don't want to look, that's one thing. But when you see stuff being said, other people are seeing it. Kamala blasted DeSantis and lied about calling him ahead of Hurricane Milton. Biden just said he spoke to DeSantis and the governor's doing a great job. Just imagine the fighting going on between these two in the White House behind the scenes. It appears the joy is running out. This is the kind of stuff that I like to bring to you guys because I know the media won't. They expect everybody to be dumb and treated like mushrooms in the dark and covered with, poop. There is something going on in this White House, and it's been going on for months ever since they booted him out. And it seems at this point that Dementia Joe, in his own way, with Jill, is fighting back. They are going to make it as difficult as possible for her to even, basically be a viable candidate. Just by doing the subtle things, just by going out and doing a conference and going, yeah, I've talked to Ron, and I've given him my personal number, and I told him to call me directly. I hope you caught that. I know we had to interrupt in the stream here, but that's not by accident. He hung this woman out to dry, or she hung her own self out to dry by going out there and lying, and she's too stupid to know that there's people who can do counter moves against her. And so they put counter moves against her. She walked right into that flame, not even knowing what was going on. Even Benny Johnson, who's going through a hurricane, says, DeSantis said you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has since you've been vice president until apparently now, and called it political. I called other governors during a recent hurricane. People are noticing this. And it's a shame that we, as YouTubers and people on Twitter, have to call this out because the media will never do it. Why wouldn't CNN or MSNBC or CBS look at this and go, oh, she's lying. She's just completely lying about everything that they're saying. So, and it's over and over and over. I mean, people are saying it everywhere. Biden counter programs Kamala and says Governor DeSantis is doing a great job just hours after Harris said he was doing an awful job. This is crazy. I've never seen a vice president and a president be on completely different sides of the same issue publicly. I'm sure inside, the Oval Office when they're having their meetings, I'm sure Trump and Pence, we know they had some disagreements on the whole election thing. But you try not to, during the term, be out there talking publicly and making your other person look stupid. These guys, now 30 days from the election, there seems to be an internal war going on. And the problem with it is other people are beginning to see it. And, I love this. I'm showing you other accounts that you may want to follow. Amuse. Fake news. The media created a story that Governor DeSantis refused to take a call from Kamala Harris. That was NBC and CNN. They tried to push it. When the media asked her about the situation, she didn't bother to point out she never called DeSantis. The governor corrected the record shortly afterward. Everything about Kamala Harris is fake. It's falling apart. Completely falling apart. And people who actually take some time to look at it are realizing it's a complete sham. My two videos today, the one that you're watching now and half of one that you watched a little while ago and the one you're going to see tonight, are about this campaign completely in free fall mode. There's nothing she can do to save it. Literally nothing she can do at this point to save it. Everybody sees it is a complete train wreck. When I mean train wreck, I mean train wreck. It's going off the edge. completely going off the edge. Why did not play? It's done. It's completely toast. It's toast. I feel very comfortable in saying it, that the only possible way she can win is that way that we all know that they are capable of trying to do. So when I say it's over, I'll start putting asterisks for those who get afraid, and when that asterisk is if you win and if it's a free and fair election. It's still on. All right. But in any event, you can't do what she's doing, and you're fighting against the current president and his team. And it gets worse, because as we're seeing this stuff happen play out in real life, where we can see it. Tonight, when I'm talking about the 60 Minutes interview, somebody, and you guys know who watch my videos, you know I'm a big fan of The Godfather. And the Hiram Roth scene when Michael goes down to Cuba and he's talking to Hiram Roth and he's like, who gave the order? And he's like, I don't ask who gave the order. It's business. This guy was getting, he was talking too much. He was acting like he was a big shot, so we had to take him out. I didn't ask who gave the order, because business is business. Politics is politics. Somebody gave the order. CBS would not have done that on their own. Those of you who've seen the interview, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you who haven't, make sure you tune in at 7, and I'll show you. There is no way CBS said, you know what? Let's go ahead and just take this woman out. Let's end her campaign. Let's ask her questions, and let's ask the follow-up questions that we know she can't answer, so she looks like a bubbling, blithering idiot, and everybody who sees it can see she's lying. It's all over Twitter. I mean, there must have been 1,000 clips of the cuts where she was caught saying what she was saying. It's simply amazing. So it only begs you to see between what happened in North Carolina when she walked up there and falsely said you could have $750, and then she goes out and lies about Ron DeSantis and Biden steps all over her. Then she goes on 60 Minutes, and when she gets on 60 Minutes, they go after her with a buzzsaw. The question is, who gave the order? Why 30 days out have they decided, you know what, she can't win. Let's tear her apart. Matter of fact, make it easier. We can do it really covertly. Let's let her tear herself apart. Bill Whitaker from 60 Minutes. He's a good reporter, but there's no way he would have done that. You have to understand, if you're producing a show, and I have guests on my show, when you talk to somebody, they have an idea what you're going to talk about. She would have had an idea what they were going to talk about. She should have had, in her mind, the script that she was going to say as this thing unfolded. So when he asked her the question, A, she should have known, okay, I need to go to answer A, because this is where I need to go to. And she's probably did that. In her mind, she probably shifted, okay, is the sky blue? Yes, the sky is blue, except if there's a hurricane. Sometimes it can look gray and look, beige. Okay, is there a hurricane outside right now? I mean, literally, she folded under the second question. She didn't expect the counterpunch. So I'm just giving you a little, basically, teaser on tonight where I'm going with all this. Let me go ahead and take some questions. Chillery will eat her for Thanksgiving. Oh, turkeys don't eat their own meat. Are they looking to bring her in? Are they going to bring Hillary in at the last moment? I don't know how they can do that. So somebody gave him free reign. Somebody somewhere gave the order. There's no way CBS did that on their own. No, it didn't happen. Benny Johnson has a great podcast interviewing General Flynn, who has been in North Carolina and knows what's going on. I highly recommend it. Yeah, General Flynn was talking about the body bag. Oh, I have to rewind. If you came in late, go ahead and watch part 1. I find it funny that this show is called 60 Minutes Overtime. Yep, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy that they took her apart like that. Something indeed is strange in Denmark. And it becomes more apparent that it's strange because we've seen the history of the media. we have watched as they spent the last 60 days basically crowning this woman. There was nothing negative said anywhere. Everything about this Democrat party, including Tim Walz, was just make sure she's glowing when she walks. She has a halo. Everything's fantastic. She hear me. I'm woman, hear me roar. I'm black, sort of woman, hear me roar. So she's going to be the first black woman president. And now, all of a sudden, going back to Saturday and Saturday Night Live, beginning to rip her? Why would Saturday Night Live been doing skits about Kamala Harris? They usually just save that for Trump. And they're ripping her. And I'm watching this stuff happen, and I'm sure you guys are beginning to see this and going, what's wrong? Is there something wrong here? Why are you guys looking to take her out now? It's bad. The other Barry was the first woman president. Ouch. Barry, do you think where was that? Do you think they're trying to lure Trump into an interview by showing they can be objective? I don't think so, because at this point, Trump doesn't need them. They're just other squirrels out there trying to get a nut. He doesn't need them for ratings. He doesn't need them to get his message out. If he really wants to get something out, he can basically do a lot besides a rally. He can just, hey, Elon, yeah, let's do that thing again. Which I'm doing a video tomorrow on why they really hate Elon, providing I have service. But in any event, something is really wrong. Something is really wrong. With all the material SNL has on Kamala, are they even trying? It came out. People are starting to wake up. Sleepy Joe is not so sleepy, getting his revenge. Is it him or is it Jill? They pissed off somebody. They pissed off somebody, and they're being so covert about it. The timing is perfect. He knew she was going on The View. He does a press conference. He knew she was getting ready to go on stage at a rally. He does a press conference. Remember the movie, what was it, 3 Days of the Hackers, I think it was. There are no coincidences. There's no coincidences in politics. They all know what they're doing. I just think at this point someone has, the content makes itself. It really does. It really does. Trump should not give fake news any ratings. Nope. Severo says it's Jill. I believe, yeah, she could be a mastermind from it. He still wants an apology from CBS. He's never going to get it, but that's a great move. Hey, listen, you lied about me. You lied to me. You lied to the American people about the laptop. Come on, Leslie. Say it. Say I was wrong. That's all you have to do. Say I was wrong. Admit it. Tell everybody that you were wrong. And you get an interview with Trump, but they can't. They can't do it at all. Yes, Trump wouldn't do an interview with 60 Minutes until he apologized. And so right now she's flailing, as I titled everything. There's nowhere for her to go at this point. He's not going to debate her. They've already done the VP debate, which Vance smashed her. And so she's going on to all these places that nobody cares. The View? Seriously? The View. And then I guess tomorrow or whenever she's going to go on Howard Stern. She went on Colbert's show and talk about train wrecks there. It was the most cringiest thing possible. So, that being said, no Big Mike. Big Mike, I think we're being played. They have something up their sleeve. No, I don't think we're being played. I think every single one of us realizes something's not right. Something's not right with these hurricanes. Something's not right with it's just not right. I'm positive they have something up their sleeves. What I'm hoping for, and what I think I believe in, is that Trump has something to counteract that. Between RFK Jr. and Elon, I think they're cooking something as well. So I think these next, what are we at? October 8th? These next 30 days are going to be absolutely insane. I did notice that Trump has really picked up his tempo on the rallies. There's a bunch of new rallies. I talked about it last night. He's going into California. Don't know why. I love that. The thing about Biden throwing Kamala under the bus is his timing, or Jill's timing, or whatever. You messed with the guy, you kicked him to the curb, you stepped into it, and you did all this and treated the guy like crap. And you expected that he was just going to sit back and take it? Nope, I don't think so. Trump signed a lighting party on a sticker mule on YouTube. Joe Biden is telling Joe what to say. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I hate Howard Stern. I don't like Howard Stern at all. It's this line in the sand drops October 5th, and they'll just show how bad Kamala has been on the border. Interesting. All right, so I want to show you, I'm going to segue to even, I think what this shows you when you watch this video is people in North Carolina know specifically what's going on. They know for sure that this woman is probably, well, I'm gonna let this sheriff actually tell you what's going on. This was an interview with the sheriff that what's her name? Sarah Carter did with the sheriff. Okay, check this out, because you're gonna see the point where I first saw this. I saw it come out and I just bust out laughing. I'll freeze it at that point because you'll be laughing too. Make sure you're not drinking anything. It's about 30 seconds in.
I was going to say something about Biden and Harris.
Yes, what were you going to say? Oh.
But I don't like to curse. I'm scared there'll be little ears listening.
Well, and you've been up here. You've been up here for how long?
Just 2 days.
2 days?
He hasn't left, and he's doing a fantastic job, so...
You catch him with the sneeze/spit, because he's got to stick some stuff up in there. You know, some raw stuff.
That's right. I mean, Sheriff, you have been amazing. Thank you so much for all you do. I'm going to definitely get this up on social media, and we're going live tonight with Sean Hannity. But if you had a message for the White House and how they've handled the situation up here in North Carolina, what would your message be, Sheriff Wright?
If you're going to do the things you've been talking about doing, we just assume you stay out of the way and let the good men and women around the mountain area and the foothills take care of our own, because you're nothing more than a boat anchor.
You ain't nothing more than a boat anchor. Now, I want you guys to listen to what he says here next, because he really tells you what they think of Kamala Harris up in the mountains. And there's two things about this in the interview that I wanted you to pay attention to. One, the guy's throwing some Chewbacca back while he's talking. The second is, you know, he sneezes right on while she's talking to her. She kind of laughed. Oh, okay. The point being, these men ain't taking no crap. You can run that Washington stuff and stick it up your butt. But what he says here is just, I mean, it's...
No help. FEMA hasn't been helpful.
Wait a minute. That lady that's running for president...
Ow! Did you hear him? That lady who's running for president. He reduced her to basically the size of a bobblehead. That lady who's running for president. Now, understand, if the sheriffs up there, if the law enforcement up there thinks this way about Kamala Harris, what do you think the people think? I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I hope you guys see what he said. I'm seeing people say, that lady. Okay, yeah.
Talks about the $750. Well, but all that money you give to Ukraine and all these other people that really want to kill us, don't want to do anything to help us, why don't you just give that money to them? That's who you want to give it to begin with.
And Sarah Carter, who's with Fox, or she gets on hand, she's like, oh, did you really just say that? Yeah, I said it.
A lot of people have been turned down for the $750. Almost everybody I've spoken to hasn't received any of the funding, and they've been turned down for personal items.
Well, they talked about get on your phone or your computer. Do you not see what the devastation is? They don't have a phone or a computer.
There's nothing up here. There's no communication. I'm going to be posting this later. There's no way to access the internet unless you have a Starlink net. And everybody's...
Thank you, Elon Musk, by the way.
Oh.
So the sheriff, actually there's two. There's another one that's out of frame. There's two sheriffs sitting here, and they're like, that lady who's running for president, no respect, none. But he doggone knew who Elon Musk was, didn't he? He called him out by name. Thank you, Elon Musk.
Yes, thank you, Elon Musk.
President Donald Trump, we need you.
And he knew who Donald Trump was. So that was a mountain slap. That lady who's running for president.
What are yes, that's a message for you, President Trump. And I was gonna ask you, what are the most affected areas that you've seen? Is this pretty much ground zero from what you've seen, or can you?
Well, I think that'd be better for the sheriff here to answer for sure, because he knows this county a lot better than I do.
Here in Rutherford County, what are the most affected areas?
Almost certainly, Lake Lure and Chimney Rock is the most affected areas. We've had.
I mean, we're here in Chimney Rock, and I know they've been cleaning. What was Chimney Rock?
Yeah.
What was?
But lower in the county, we've had a lot of damage, but nothing to this magnitude here.
This has just been devastating, and the people. For all of you out there, whatever you can do, whether it's Samaritan's Purse, whether you live in the area,
yeah, Samaritan's Purse,
yeah, Samaritan's Purse is
cut off from it. All these other people that do use it to step on a blog.
So
Did you catch that? Did you catch that? I was hoping I'd catch it before he actually said it, but he said it. He said that make sure you give the money to Samaritan's Purse, because these other people out here, they're useless as you-know-what on a hog. Oh my God, I love these mountain people. Oh my God, oh, good Lord.
Samaritan's Purse, that's it. Samaritan's Purse. Come out here if they need. I heard you need more hands, more help, more manpower in some areas. So if you're living out in the area and you have special skills and you can help.
All right, so now he's going to give another warning. And like I had said before, if you guys aren't familiar with the hills in North Carolina, he about to give you some take heed medicine here.
Let me a tag onto that.
Okay.
Don't just show up saying I want to help. You get in touch with somebody and get some. They'll give you a code. They'll give you a person to be in contact with, because we know you want to help. But we have to vet you, because there's stuff laying around here that people's worked all their life for. I can't just let a stranger. We can't let a stranger come in here and just walk up and down.
They don't want looters.
Oops, my bad. Oops, sorry about that.
They don't
We're not
want
going to have
looters.
looters. If you come over here and loot, just like in Spartanburg, you're not going to like us at all.
Don't come.
Ooh, you come up here and loot, you ain't going to like us at all. He said, just like in Spartanburg. So, in case you wonder what over in Spartanburg he's talking about, South Carolina, the sheriff there made a video which I can't post, because I'm sure if I posted that video and you guys saw what the sheriff in Spartanburg, South Carolina said, he basically said the same thing that, Sheriff Judd here in Lakeland County, over Lakeland over in Florida here, has said. That the people here understand 2A, and not only do I'm warning you basically, because I already told them, do what you got to do. So if the sheriff is telling you, take the pew, take the pew, let them know, don't do that here. And if you got to do what you got to do, well, you're not going to like it here. Love that mountain justice.
I'm here
Don't come
and
to
loot.
Rutherford County. That's
Don't
for sure.
come to Rutherford County if you're going to loot.
Don't bypass Rutherford and go to Spartanburg or Greenville County either, because we don't tolerate you either.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me. I'll be back out here tomorrow. I'll be back
Go
out here.
Sean Hannity and calm President Trump. Calm.
Oh, God. I'm sweating. Hey, man, that lady running for president. Maybe that's why she don't go up there. Maybe she knows right now these people up there in the mountains might tell her what they really think, and she ain't gonna like it. And, you heard him say about the other people out there trying to help these people they say help, and he's like, nope, Samaritan's Purse or nothing. Don't give it to these other people. They ain't doing anything. So there's a little bit left to this video that I want to show you. So many of you are probably familiar with the country singer Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean, God bless him. Whether you like his music or not, he's a strong Trump supporter. And I'm just going to let you see what he did last night.
Well, and that's not all. Also had a friend of mine who wanted to try to be here today, but unfortunately he couldn't, so he sent this instead for you guys.
Hello, Georgia. You're a very special place. You've been very good to me, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to be good to you. I hope everyone is having an incredible time with the great Jason Aldean, a friend of mine and a real talent. And you're in beautiful Macon. I love Macon.
Y'all hearing that? Jason Aldean stops his concert with, I don't know, 20,000 people at him. Because, yeah, there's this guy, you know, he wants to say something. He wish he could make it. But let me let you hear what he's got to say.
We took Macon by a lot, so I like it when I take it. I wish I could be there myself and listen to that incredible music, but Jason has really been a true American patriot, one of the greatest entertainers of our time. He's a very special person with an incredible wife and family. Every day his music inspires countless hardworking, God-fearing citizens all across our nation. You are the men and women who carry this country.
I mean, just hear that. I mean, it's thunderous cheering. That's in Macon, Georgia. Yeah, sure, she's close in Georgia. Are you kidding me? These people are going absolutely nuts.
On your shoulders, and you are the heart and soul of America, and nobody's going to say any different. As you know, we are just 1 month away from the most important election in the history of our country. Our economy, our border, our safety, our freedom, it's all in trouble, it's bad, and we're going to change it around. So I just say, November 5th, get out and vote. You can vote early if you like, but the main thing is to vote. We're going to make America great again. You're all going to be very happy. Thank you very much.
Wow. All right, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to give some of y'all some Jason Aldean tickets and get some people into some concerts for free, because I'm gonna support Jason, not just because what he just did there with Trump. That's one thing. But what he does next here just tells me, all right, Ashley, we got to give away some Jason Aldean tickets. Why? Watch what he and his wife Brittany have done.
Man, that's kind of hard to follow. One thing I can say is that's my guy, and I hope they're playing this if he wins. Right here. Miss Brittany Aldean right here. We also want to donate to the states of Georgia and Florida, to Samaritan's Purse as well, from us, a check for $500,000 to Austin Football Guys, which will sell us over $7 million. So, thank you guys, everybody. Obviously, Georgia means a lot to us. Carolina means a lot to her, and we're going to try our best to take as good care of them as we can. So thank you guys so much.
That's what Americans do. Jason Aldean and his wife Brittany raised $7 million. Just him and his wife. You know, obviously he sees 20, 30,000 people a night. $7 million for Samaritan's Purse. In addition to that, he's like, well, actually, no, he raised $6.5 million. And then when he saw what people did, you know, same thing Robin and I are doing, not to that extent, ain't got it like that, but he goes and says, you know what, let's top it off and make it $7 million. We're going to donate $500,000 ourselves, he and his wife. So Jason Aldean is giving $7 million. I want to punctuate that. One country entertainer is giving $7 million to hurricane victims. Taylor Swift, where you at? George Clooney, where you at? Why are you know, Dolly Parton gave a big check or a couple checks, but where's the rest of these celebrities? You know, all these people that are, you know, twerking for Kamala. Why are you not helping these people? Your entire campaign's a fraud. You're losing badly, and Americans understand at this point. $7 million to Samaritan's Purse from this one man. And I salute. I know how hard it is to raise the money, how to put it together, make sure everything is right, contacting everybody, making sure that they're getting help to people who need it. I wish I could raise $7 million, but you guys have been completely awesome. Don't get me wrong. You guys have been incredible in terms of what you've provided to give to Samaritan's Purse. And I got a letter I'm going to show you guys. They're extremely happy. They are overflowing with people who just want to give. So from our little corner of the world here on YouTube, I personally want to say thank you. And if we keep growing and the internet keeps working, maybe one day we can be in the same position as Jason Aldean. I don't sing. I used to play guitar. And we could raise $7 million for people. That's my goal. I want to keep growing this channel to the point where y'all need something? Boom, here we go. Let's contact Samaritan's Purse and raise some money. Let's get it done. That being said, all of that. Somebody, Tommy Rodriguez says, I can't breathe. Don't F-A-F-O with them. They've had enough. People in the mountains have had it. Completely had it. I think the people in the mountains, because there's such a focus on them, deservedly so, are a microcosm of what America really feels at this point. They've had it with Kamala Harris. They've had it with these lib nuts. They've had it with Transformers. They've had it with boys and girls bathrooms. They've had it with newcomers. It's over. I don't feel any remorse in telling people this election is over. I'll put the asterisk and I'll say, as long as you get out there and vote. As long as they don't do anything to, steal it. That being said, let me give you another hint. Do you know that most of the pollster companies are burying their polls? They won't even report anymore. It's like they went out of business. Oh, you want us to do what? Talk about the election? No, we can't do that anymore. Some of them haven't posted in 2 weeks again. Remember earlier when I started doing my pollster stuff and showing you the polls, and I'm like, hey man, this stuff is stale milk. These people aren't even reporting. Well, they're doing it again now. 30 days from an election, and they decided, no, we're not even going to talk about it. We're not even going to drop any numbers. Why? Because I can't make this up. We can't keep making it up and telling you, oh, she's doing great when she's pooping the bed. Ray Copeland, you must be up there because we're usually forgotten up here. Not anymore, brother. Not anymore. Not as long as I have the ability to basically hit a button and get people to watch. We are going to talk about what you're going through up in North Carolina. I am going to positively begin giving out Jason Aldean tickets. Matter of fact, I need to find out where he's in concert. Hope, October, a lot of people start shutting down because it gets cold up north. I wonder if his tour is ending. Just Jason Aldean tour. Let's take a look because we're going to have to look at where he is going to be so we can begin trying to do some of that. Jason Aldean 2024. I'll find out with Ashley and we'll see what's going on. Hopefully his tour is not over. I mean, that would absolutely suck. If just now, tour, wait a minute, let me just click on here. Yeah, it looks like it's, he's got one more date in Mexico. That might have been the last date. That sucks. That absolutely sucks. We'll find out some way. There's no sense in reporting any polls because one, they lie about them, and two, everybody knows the election is over. I concur. I agree. Somebody says, where do you live, Barry? Are you safe? Yes. Robin and I are on the east side of Florida, down by Fort Lauderdale. We're in Boca. Boca is about 8 miles away from Fort Lauderdale, 65, 70 north of Miami, and all the bad stuff is happening up through the center of the state. Coming across Tampa, Ocala, Orlando, Disney World may get hit, Daytona, that's miles away. Just to give you an idea, we are right now 200 miles from Disney, maybe 260 miles away from Tampa, so we're pretty far. The Emperor says, got to keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Barry, I love that mushrooms growing in the dark and covered in poop. Yeah, ask the Amish people about that, which they never show up in polls. No, you never see them. Let's see, he may do a benefit. Yeah, he might do a benefit. I mean, well, he already did the benefit. He just raised $7 million. That's awesome. Mountain people are a different breed. Common sense and no BS, unless we're dealing it out. Just imagine, people up north aren't used to their law enforcement officers talking that way. Their law enforcement officers saying, don't do that here. You're not going to want to, don't mess around here. If you do, you're going to FAFO, muck around and find out, because the people are all armed and we're giving them the green light. And it's not like the people in the mountains or anywhere else are just going to start taking pop shots. You just don't belong here. This is my storefront. It got washed out, but there's some stuff in here. There's some inventory. And I might just be sitting in the back. Don't come walking in here, because you're not walking out. People up north freak out when they hear that kind of stuff. What do you mean? They don't deserve to, lose their lives. Well, there's a big sign. And it says on the sign, looters are going to leak. Make sure you understand what that means. Yeah, we're ready, locked and loaded. Absolutely. Disney's still open. I doubt it. Not much sooner. Maybe till tonight, and then they'll have to go. They're sheriffs, and they are different from cops. Just so you guys know, I've got a number of different police, law enforcement officers who contact me and tell me different things. And there's a guy I know for a number of years who texts me, which I can't say who he is, but he is up in the middle of the state, and I just want you guys to leave these guys in your prayers. These guys have to leave their homes. When I say these guys, I'm talking about, law enforcement officers. They have to leave their homes, and they have to go make sure other people are safe. And I think a lot of times people don't understand that. When he texted me this morning, he goes, I'm leaving my house to go get stationed over here. I'm not that far away from, point zero. I won't know if my house is still standing until I get off my shift guarding other people. Just imagine that. You got to board up your windows. You got to do everything you can. You got to move your pets to safety, or tell your family, go stay with the aunt or something. And then you got to get dressed and go take care of other people. You have to put yourself second to all these other people that you wear the badge for. And when I was reading his text, I'm thinking, I wonder how many people just really absorb that. Somebody is leaving their home, their family, their property and assets to go guard yours. And they won't know unless they've got Ring cameras or anything. They won't know until their shifts end. When they go back, if they can get back, how their homes are. I mean, imagine being on duty and you're, taking care of XYZ, a soup kitchen or something. And on your phone, you have a Ring camera where you can dial in. And as you're looking at that, you're watching whatever's happening at your house. And you can't go take care of anything because you're taking care of somebody else. I think you need to have those law enforcement officers in your mind and in your prayers, because they're doing everything to make sure you're safe. And nobody ever thinks to themselves, including some of our politicians, hey, you know what? Every single one of those guys in a cruiser, every single one of those guys or women in a fire truck or an ambulance or anything are out here making sure you're okay. And in doing so, they're leaving their stuff at home. And it didn't dawn on me until I read that text. I went, wow. Yeah, we know that, every morning when a cop leaves his home, it could be the last time he gets home. But when you're talking about a catastrophe, a storm like this, it's not so much an if. There's going to be damage if you're close to the water. It's going to happen. And you're going to be the last one to know, basically, because you're out here making sure that person is safe, and you're going to go rushing into and blaring lights to make sure that person is picked up and that person doesn't drown in this person's house, and no one's back where you are. So please keep those guys in your mind over the next couple of days. And like the guys in North Carolina, those sheriffs up there, they got to go home someplace. I'm pretty sure that many, many law enforcement people, volunteer firefighters, people of that nature, signed up for a job that they're willingly doing, knowing that some of the people you're looking at may be in the same position. They don't show it. They're stealing it. They're just tough people. But imagine you're driving through and you know Joe's store. You know that was her hairstylist. That's where she used to cut hair. She cut my kids' hair. Now she's done. You're seeing all this devastation. You're knowing that, hey, listen, Bobby, who I used to go fishing with, nobody's seen him in a couple days. Wow. Man, I hope he's okay. I hope his wife's okay. I hope his dog's okay. Let me go by there. Oh, there's no house. And I haven't heard from him. And these guys are carrying that on their shoulders as they're going to help somebody else. That's a burden. And so I understand when those sheriffs said, he spits his beach nut, like the Hank Williams song, I'd like to spit some beach nut in that dude's eye. If you haven't heard that song, Country Boy Will Survive, that man is that guy in that song. I like to spit some beach nut in his eye. Don't come up here. Don't do it. If you do, you might meet something you don't want to meet. You don't want to know what we'll do to you. And I think a lot of people like me kind of chuckled and like, oh, he's serious, isn't he? Oh, I'm dead serious. You don't want to meet me if you do something like that. Thank you, Barry, for a lifesaver for all that you do for us. And I apologize. I mean, I'm trying to get through all of this storm stuff. Fighting. I think I have the answer, because what I did, well, you don't need to know. It's just some technical stuff, but I think I'm doing something. Trump has an event here in Reading, Pennsylvania. Yep, gonna cover it, God willing. Maybe we have a drawing to what's this? Maybe we have a drawing to help with a bill to keep power on. People are struggling. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, the only problem with that, and that's why I give away T-shirts and stuff and hoodies and things of that nature, is because there are so many scammers. And people will say, hey, listen, I don't have any way to eat, or I don't have any power, and I don't know them. You don't know them. And if we go ahead and send them $100, we don't know if the guy's in Chicago and he just made some money. He's going to go make some, do what he wants. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, at least we know if we're doing something with Samaritan's Purse, they're vetting the people. Like that sheriff said, don't just come up here. We're going to have to vet you. We want to know who you are. I don't have the ability to vet people to know that they really are in a bad way. God knows we want to help, but see, when you do drawings like that, you get opportunists. People that just want to, yeah. There's lots of grifters out there that would jump in and hey, listen, I want $100, so yeah, I don't have any problem with my house, but I just want $100. I don't know how we can do that. Yes, I've seen them on YouTube chats. Yep, for sure. So we have to figure out a way. How about we send some solar generators and solar panels? Well, we could do that. I saw that the guys from Generac, I showed you guys about the Generac yesterday, and Generac has actually sent up a bunch of those. The government don't need to go sticking their noses where they don't need to. They may lose it, literally. He's from up there. Now, I understand this is the first time I think a lot of people are being introduced to the fact that the government just needs to stay out. Do what you do. We got it. We have people. We have the resources. We're getting things. FEMA, you're just getting in the way. You're not doing anything. As much as the sheriff you just saw up in North Carolina said it, the one thing about the people up in North Carolina in that small area, everybody knows everybody. or at least they knew everybody. And so it becomes a situation where they've known that person down the road for 20 years. And we know what he's like or she's like, and we can help them. We know what they need. We also know what they want and don't want. They don't want the government poking around in their lives. You want me to think about this. You want me to go ahead and fill out this form in triplicate. Forget the fact there's no internet and no cell service. You want me to fill out this form and tell you all this information. Why? Why would I do that? You know, because I haven't needed you as the government, and when I do need you, you're making it overly hard to get the help we need. God forbid, you know, shit's about to hit the fan. I walked into Home Depot and there was a Generac display right in the front door. Generac is it, man. Send baby formula, and they are so costly. Yeah, I believe that. I believe already had enough to live without disasters. I can't imagine. Sarah Beach goes, I love the mountains of North Carolina. So anyway, what's this one? Mountain people say, don't pee down my back and tell me it's raining. And they sniff that. It's like, you're full of crap. I can tell you're full of crap. And that's it. So I just want you guys to, you know, keep these law enforcement officers in your mind. They need you. They need to understand that people care about them. And they always get the bad, you know, the bad crap. They're always told that, hey, listen, this person or that person is a bad cop, does this or does that. Cops are all, it was an ASAP. All cops are, and then a bad word. I'm just so sick of that. I'm so sick of people saying that kind of stuff. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. But it to me at this point, I really do believe that Biden has flipped on Kamala, that he's really showing people that he's really fighting, in the dark, the back behind everything, in the scenes where nobody sees. It at this point seems like he's taking her out. So I'm going to jump off of this one because I gotta get ready for my 7 o'clock, and we're going to talk about the 60 Minutes interview and just so you know, I'm gonna do a lot of audio because I'm not allowed to show a lot of what goes on. So bear with me, but I will make it entertaining, and I'll definitely make it factual and talk to you about a lot of things. So let me go ahead and address people about the super chats here, and I just want to thank each of you for finding a way to get back here. I think for the next couple of days I'm going to be fighting this storm, but we're on. All right, here we go. Mark Cologne, first donation for a new Starlink. Dolores, my 2 cents for Starlink. Ron DeSantis is killing it from Moshe. Absolutely. Mr. Krabs, thank you. No matter how hard the Dems try, you can't polish a turd and make it shine. The only way I can say this. Yeah, you said it the right way. Thank you, Nancy. Just another knucklehead. Exorcism required. Dale Phillips, FYI, in 2002, the Winter Olympics were held in Utah, who dust seeded the clouds before they crossed into Colorado, whose ski resorts experienced record low snowpack. See, I'm going to talk about that on Twitter. I can't talk about it here. These guys are gunning for me here. I mean, just, you don't even know. Let me just tell you. Was it last night we talked about Trump and the Israelis and everything else? They didn't shut down that video, but they said, we're not going to allow you to show it in certain areas. Maybe I shouldn't even be talking about what they do sometimes in the background, but they didn't like Trump talking about what happened. Didn't like the Israeli guy doing the prayers and giving some of the stories. They don't want people to know. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. Estrella Siebers, got my ticket for Trump Coachella. Big pushback against the commie mayor stating this is not MAGA country. We'll show that guy how wrong he is on Saturday. Can't wait to see that. Sandy, please watch this video by Cap Chatfield called Hurricane Helene is FEMA blocking survivors from getting aid. Well, I don't think we have that question anymore. I think we know for sure that they are doing that. There is no longer any doubt. You've got actual sheriffs on the ground telling you what's going on. Clint Sheehan, I'm in Alaska, but my entire family is in Asheville and Chimney Rock area. Please pray for my family. As that sheriff said, there is no more Chimney Rock. I mean, so I hope they can do something. Mama Mima, don't forget Mercury Run, Glenn Beck's charity. Yep, they get the thousands of injuries, and he's been there himself. I'm going to see if I can get in touch with them as well. Amber Carnuth, I was at Butler Rally. It was so nice being surrounded by American-loving patriots. I bet. Sue Rabin, in Jesus' name, thank you. Moshe G, thank you very much. Dub, Samaritan's Purse, the sheriff video you found was brilliant. That is a patriot, and I ain't going to stop watching your content. It's too good. Aldine himself isn't half bad as you are. It's close, though. Excuse my language. Oh, your language is fine. We're not going to have a problem with that. That was you. And then there was another one over here. Okay, Dub twice. Okay, thank you very, very much. So what did the other one say? I didn't read it. Barry, love your content. I might have to stop watching because you might make me go. No, keep watching. Don't go broke. Thank you very, 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 very much for tuning in to the second half thing here. Trying to fight my way through this. I'm going to call the internet company and go, what the heck? The storm's 200 miles away. How could my stream be dropping? It's absolutely crazy. I have a huge connection. I have like I don't want to bore you with terms, but almost a gig up and almost half a gig down. So I should, and that's just in terms of the stream, how fast it is. So I shouldn't be having any problems, but don't know. But I don't seem to have any problems on Twitter. And this one's direct. All right, see you in 2 hours. Hope you guys all have a great afternoon. Tonight, again, 7 o'clock, we're going to be talking about that 60 Minutes interview. I've got some pre-production to do to make sure I've got all the clips.